You're both here. Oh, thank goodness.
What's wrong?
It's Thancred. He's collapsed.
I'm so glad I found both you and the Exarch. The fates seem determined to not allow us a quiet moment. But come, let us have the details from REALM. Sure. The rest of our conversation must wait. Let us hear the situation from REALM. Freeing threads. REALM's face is a picture of worry. It happened after Alice and I saw the children back to Square Enix. We chanced to meet Thancred there, returning from his mission. He'd been shadowing Elidibus around the realm, only to lose sight of him near the Crystarium. And he was in the middle of telling us where he'd been when he just crumpled to the ground. The Chiurgeons are looking after him now, with Alphino standing by, just in case his healing magics are needed. Since I couldn't do anything to help, I thought it best to find you, and the guard at the etc. told me where to look. I see. It cannot have been easy leaving Thancred's side. My thanks for bearing word to us. Come, let us hurry to Square Enix. Ah, not good enough. Alright. We'll go for that another time. We've been visiting this place quite a bit. And we're only a couple of quests in. It appears our friend has already awakened. For that at least we can be thankful. I fear this bodes ill, and not just for Thancred. We found you then. We had to send the children off earlier than planned, but they understood. Thancred, shouldn't you be resting? They dragged you too, didn't they? They dragged you here too, didn't they? My apologies. How do you feel? Embarrassed, but otherwise well enough. I won't be staying overnight. This episode was not the result of any injury I could find. Thancred's ether, however, did show signs of instability, and I did what I could to calm the fluctuations. All of this happened without warning. Not exactly. You will doubtless recall the time Urianger nearly drowned and I gallantly went to his rescue. When his water walking charm failed, he was tired, as were you when you got back. We were both spent, yes, on account of which you begged us to rest, which in retrospect may have been a good idea. The fact is, I've been experiencing regular bouts of lightheadedness ever since, but there was no actual fainting until now. As Alphino observed, I have no lingering injuries. and it most assuredly isn't old age, which leaves but one cause. The link between body and soul has weakened further. Time grows short. We must complete the spirit vessel with all haste. To that end, Alex, might I trouble you to make a trip to the source? In addition to looking in on our friends' bodies, I would have you consult Kryl about our plan. If she has any concerns, we should at least endeavor to address them prior to proceeding. In the meantime, we should get back to laying bare Elidibus's plot. Thus far, I have learned this much, that in each of the places he has visited, there have been sightings of suspicious black-clad strangers. Moreover, the coming of these shady individuals has invariably coincided with some manner of misfortune. Beasts terrorizing settlements, blight ravaging crops, you know the sort of thing. All of which serves rather coincidentally to make Elidibus's call for new heroes reverberate that much more loudly in the hearts of his audience. And you think these black-clad strangers are Ascians? I do, and I fully intend to investigate further, though for that I shall require additional feet on the ground. While you can count on mine, God knows I've been... Oh, you can count on mine. God knows I've been itchy to get out there for a while. Mayhap Urianger too can be prevailed upon to join in your efforts. He has already provided copious guidance on the matter of the spirit vessel's construction. It is for Beck, Lug and I to wrestle with the rest. Well, if you could spare the old boy, we may as well make use of him. I'll go and give him the good news. You'll do no such thing. However heedless you are of your own well-being, if you care at all for Rin's feelings, you'll stay in bed until you're needed. Alvino and I will find a Urianger. All being well, we will have news to share by the time you return. Safe travels, Alex. Lest you misunderstand, I am not averse to putting my feet up. It's being coddled like a brittle-boned nongenarian that chafes. I know you. You cross the rift all the time. Please take care. Yeah, it's relatively simple, actually. I even have a ticket to make it cheaper. Bum bum bum. Do do. Do 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 do. Ah, Alex! What excellent! I mean awful timing. You see, our friends, they've taken a turn for the worse. Kryl's hardly had a moment's rest these past few days. She didn't want everyone to worry, so we've been keeping it quiet. Oh, but listen to me. I call myself a receptionist and I haven't even bothered to ask why you're here. So, they think the spirit vessel will be ready soon, and they want to make sure there are no problems at this end. Huh, you'd better talk to Kryl. She's with the others in Dawn's Respite. Let's go and see her. Just, prepare yourself, alright? Dawn's respite is through that door. Lead the way when you're ready.
Excuse us. This way.
I would rather you hadn't seen this.
I'm sorry. We have urgent tidings.
Oh, no, I'm not angry with you. On the contrary. I know full well how hard everyone has been searching for a way to return home. And I had hoped to afford you the time you needed. But given our friend's present state, perhaps it was for the best that you came. Stiff and cold, all of them, as if they were made of wax. Barely alive at all. And they had been doing so well. Save for occasional signs of etheric instability, they appeared to be in passable health. Then, quite without warning, things took a turn for the worse. A change for which even Master Matoya could offer no explanation. She could only remind me that the soul is yet an unknown frontier, and that much and more lies beyond our ken. But let's not lose heart just yet. At times like these, it is all the more important that we remain positive. Why? I but this moment succeeded in quelling a fluctuation in Thancred's ether. And while the others have weakened, they have remained relatively stable. I believe I may leave my post for a moment. So come, let me hear your tale outside.
As you probably noticed, we've put them in night clothes. I know they're not exactly asleep, but it seemed the right thing to do. I've made them some new clothes for when they wake up, so they have to come back, and they will. What news from the first? I see. Work on the spirit vessel proceeds apace, but our friends begin to falter. As they themselves have observed, the link between body and soul has weakened. It's as simple as that. For now, I'm still able to quell the fluctuations in their ether, but it's only a matter of time. We'll lose them if we don't act soon. So if the Exarch is ready to attempt something, let him attempt it. As for the spirit vessel itself, if we seek to draw upon Allagan wisdom, we could do worse than consulting an expert in the field. And I think I know just the man. Time being against us, it may be best if we go and solicit his aid in person, even if it does mean leaving my patients. You've come a long way, so do take your ease while you can. Food for the soul. Judging by her sheepish expression, Totoro has a favour to ask. Alex, could you spare a moment? While Kryl goes and finds this expert of hers, I mean. There's a gift I was hoping to send to our friends in the first, you see. And since we might be waiting a while, I wondered if you wouldn't mind giving me a hand with it. My first attempt turned out well, so now I'm going to make it properly. I'll be in the kitchen at the House of Splendors. Meet me there. Well, I had better be off too. Or well, rather. I shall see you soon, either here or at the house, depending on how our patients fare in my absence. This does give us a chance to show... Oops, that's the wrong thing. This does give us a chance to show off one of the newest things they've added with 5.3, which is... flight in Realm Reborn areas, if you can believe it. Ooh, hello Phil Harmon. The time for dwelling on the past has ended. Indeed, if I am to help you and your Archons, I must look toward the future. I have no doubt the road before you is perilous, but remember, you do not walk alone, my friend. Oh, imagine how good it would have been if Alpha happened to be here. There you are, Alex. As I'm sure you guessed, the gift is a bit of home cooking. Unlike Kryl, I can't do much to help our friends directly, but that doesn't mean I've been idle. No, I've been doing my best for the Order, taking on this job and that to keep our coffers full. I've even helped out with the Ishgardian restoration, have you? And in the course of all this, my culinary skills have come on quite a bit, so I thought, why not make something for our friends? It's baking in the oven as we speak. Shouldn't be long now. There! Baked to perfection, even if I do say so myself. Bread. It's bread. Your cake looks like bread. Your cake looks like bread. It is bread, silly. And it's not just any old bread. This here is old world bread. Archon loaf, to be precise. It's what they eat over in Charlian. Simple fare, I admit, but I thought it would remind our friends at home. If nothing else, Kral tells me it's a good source of ether.
Bread's a good source of ether, apparently.
So it should lend them a bit of strength at least. There is truly nothing like the smell of bread fresh from the oven. Cryer! And if it isn't Rambros too! I trust you require no introduction either, Alex.
Greetings, my friend. Full glad am I to see you well. I confess, I have a long list of questions to ask you, but I will endeavor to contain my curiosity for the present. I understand our mutual friend is struggling with the application of certain elegant technologies.
I have been keeping Rambros appraised of events in the first. Suffice it to say, he knows about the Exarch. If anyone alive can provide insight into this matter, it is him and his fellow sons.
Here, loath am I to disappoint you after so glowing an endorsement. Memory transference was the sole province of Allegan royalty, its mechanisms closely guarded secrets. If any record of them remains, we have yet to find it. To wit, I regret that I can offer no solution to our problems. Which begs the question of why I bothered to come here empty-handed as I am. The answer being, rather brazenly, to ask a favor. I would have you relay a message to our comrade. Tell him that we never doubted him. Never doubted that he would achieve all that he said he would. Those of us who remained behind have yet to play our part. But when the time comes, he may rest easy in the knowledge that we will most assuredly do so. And then the tower shall shine once more as a beacon of hope in this world and beyond. So tell him that we consider his duty done, and that he should follow his heart now.
Forgive me, but do you say this to discourage him from overexerting himself, or to encourage him not to hold nothing back?
That is for our friend to decide, but either way, I dare say a certain someone will be unimpressed.
Well, there you have it, Alex. If you would be so good as to see Rambros's message and Tataru's bread to their intended recipients, along with my report, of course. Cryle, before I wrap the bread up, would you mind giving it a try? Just to make sure everything's as it should be. But of course, I'm always happy to lend my taste buds. Excuse me, Rambros. As a fellow Charlian, might I trouble you for your opinion?
Well, I usually have mine with a good dollop of roll-on belly jam, but I suppose plain is best for sampling purposes. I see.
Oh no, is it that bad? It is indeed, Tataru. Dense and unpleasant, exactly as it should be.
Just so, the very taste of home. As you might expect, our countrymen have amassed a wealth of culinary wisdom from every corner of the world, but our native cuisine is, shall we say, a little lacking. In Charlian, the majority regarded food as a source of nourishment rather than enjoyment, save for those who actually research the culinary arts. We pay little heed to the niceties of taste and texture. It was against such gastronomic landscape that what is now called the Archon loaf was born. The creation of an Archon who devoted himself to the study of bodily sustenance. In order to maximize its nutritional value, he incorporated copious quantities of pulverized fish and vegetable matter into the dough, all with nary a care for those qualities which make bread enjoyable. The result is a flavor that continues to defy description. Yet, for its many shortcomings, the loaf's nutritional value cannot be denied, and being a damnably convenient way to cater to one's bodily needs, it quickly found an audience among busy scholars. Why, when I was a lad, nigh every meal was a sandwich made with this very bread and whatever ingredients happened to be on hand.
I suspect just about every Archon could say the same. Having been away from home for so long, I thought I might have forgotten the taste. But no, it is all too familiar. Ah, how it takes me back.
If there is enough, perhaps you can spare some for the Exarch. He is certain to appreciate it.
Oh, there is plenty to go around. I shall be sure to wrap up an extra slice. Alex, when you deliver the loaf, please be sure to send everyone my regards. Tell them we're doing everything we can, and that we're praying for their safe return until the moment they get back. Well, it sounds like it'll do them good anyway. And whenever things back to normal, I'll cook something for you too, Alex. God knows you deserve a treat.
Alright. Back we go to the Crystarium. World hopping back and forth and back and forth. What's it called? Dusselgate. Bum 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 bum. Do 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 do. Oh, sir, allow me passage.
Ah, you are returned. Good, good. There is much to discuss. The others are making their way hither as we speak. Welcome back, my friend. How was your journey?
Bread! Created by an Archon who devoted himself to the study of sustenance. This bread, infused with pulverized fish and vegetable, is extremely nutritious, assuming one can get past the taste. By the 12! Archon loaf! However did you come by this? I'd swear it had come straight from Charlian.
Rambrose said that, did he?
Ugh. His words are nearly as heavy as the bread, but I appreciate the sentiment.
Should you have the chance, you may tell him that he needn't worry. That which I seek to do, I do of my own volition, and with all my heart.
In pursuing this path, I fully expect to earn the censure of our friends, and deserve it, but I shall forge on regardless. Forge on as you yourself did when faced with a similar predicament. So I ask that you have faith in me, in what we do. But we were talking about your journey. Before the others arrive, I would hear how their bodies fare. Oh, and the bread I shall save for later. Though it has been many years, I have not forgotten the feats of mastication required to consume it, nor how unconductive they are to conversation.
Forgive the delay.
We have visited every region and confirmed the presence of Ascians throughout the realm.
Lest a grave predicament be made to seem hopeless, it should be noted that they are of inferior rank. The black-masked minions who answer to the Red.
Yes, a gaggle of schemers attempting to exploit recent events to sow the seeds of petty conflict. Fortunately, nothing of any great concern has come of their meddling just yet.
We also encountered a number of the Crystarium's former defenders, busily solving this problem and that in a bid to become warriors of light.
Their zeal is to be applauded. 'Tis but a pity I cannot encourage them on their course.
Not knowing Elidibus set them upon it, no. Both the troubles to be solved and the villains to be vanquished are his doing too, like as not. And so, with apologies to the aspiring warriors of light, I believe it best that we deal with the Ascians quickly and quietly.
I quite agree.
But tell us, what news from the source? How fare our bodies?
Not well. Oh, well enough, though time is not on our side. Yeah, it's better to be honest with them in this, because lying's not going to get us anywhere. Yeah, I'm sorry, but things have taken quite a turn for the worse. And your ether's becoming a lot more unstable as time goes on.
Oh dear. Then we must redouble our efforts. Not that we've ever stinted in that regard.
This would seem an appropriate moment to ask about the spirit vessel. Tell me you've made some progress.
We have, as it happens. One moment.
The red stones. Then this doth mean...
For the benefit of all, permit us to explain. As you will recall, using white auracite as our starting point, we fashioned a vessel for mind and memory both. Yet, though it served this purpose admirably, the process of imbuing it with one's complete essence proved a somewhat thornier proposition. Simply put, the memory would not accompany the mind. And so, we looked to the Allagan's mastery of memory transference for a solution.
This approach was not without its own complications, however, relying as it does upon blood, which inanimate objects notably do not possess. We duly explored methods of suffusing the vessel with drops of the aforementioned. Alas, our painstaking experimentation succeeded only in making me feel faint, and singularly failed to imbue the crystal with the necessary properties. It was then that an idea occurred to me, namely that we might fuse the vessel not with normal blood, but with my crystallized essence.
You're doing this for our sakes. So far be it from us to complain. But don't think we haven't noticed what's happening to your arm.
It falls well short of offering up my life in exchange for yours, which was your only stipulated prohibition, as I recall. And it is but a small price to pay for delivering you home.
Assuming it works. We shall soon know if this grisly addition will serve as a suitable conduit for the subject's memory. Though not soon enough to warrant your waiting. The test is like to take a while.
Let us be off then. We have Ascians to attend to, among other things.
Forgive me, but I count 6 vessels, and there are only 5 of us.
One is for testing purposes. I will personally use it to see whether the crystal functions as it should.
And if it does, wouldn't that mean that your soul could also return to the source?
Yes. In theory, at least. But there is a distinct difference between your circumstances and mine. While your corporeal forms want for souls, my past self does not. Mayhap our essences would blend, or mayhap they would curdle. There is no telling what might occur.
And you'd be willing to take that risk?
I would.
I see.
I, for one, support the Exarch's choice. To be alive is to be driven by a purpose, and few are as driven as him. It's stupid, but I've never really stopped to think about what would happen once the vessels were complete, and now... No, there's no point. I hope the test is a success, truly. When our grandfather first decided to journey to Eorzea, Alice did not take kindly to my silence on the subject. Don't pretend to understand things you don't, she said, or rather shouted. Having oft been the object of her scorn, I am predisposed to sympathize with the Exarch, but I do understand how she feels. Better now than I ever did, certainly. I'm sorry. I know it was childish to storm off like that, and probably to feel the way I do as well. Pull yourself together, Alice.
Hath thou a moment, Alexander? I would speak with thee on the matter of the Exarch's mooted return unto the source. Thou wilt have observed that our friends spake not in certainties. Yet if Beck-Log hath the right of it, 'tis possible to predict the outcome of his plan with some confidence. And in their assessment that, given the opportunity, the Exarch's soul should successfully merge with that of his younger self. Which is not to say the process is without complications. For one, the Exarch hath been subjected to an additional rejoining, an experience with which will have wrought a change in his ethereal composition, as thou thyself did demonstrate in merging with Ardbert. However, there existeth an affinity twixt like souls, and this doth give us cause to hope. Yet there remaineth one immutable condition upon which success doth hinge. The Exarch must needs recognize his past self as simply that, himself. As our recent travails have demonstrated, memories are essential to the soul. Any discrepancies in the former may feasibly cause the latter to spurn its former flesh. 'Tis a seemingly simple yet complex problem, for nigh on a century our friend hath strived only to deliver this realm, to deliver thee, and to that singular end did he cast aside his very name, that he might assume the mantle of the Crystal Exarch. Henceforth none can say what choice our friend will make, but I thought it only right that thou be made aware of these truths. Faded memories. Thancred's eager to get to work. Right then, while the Exarch literally pours his own sweat and blood into his allotted task, it seems only fair that we attend to ours, or to our own. Dealing with Elidibus and his minions. Just so. And there is one other matter. In light of our deteriorating health, Y'shtola should not be left alone in Oneida. Might I trouble you to visit her, Alex? See that all is well? I would go myself, but I think she might be safer in the hands of one less prone to collapsing. My thanks. You may leave the Asians to us. Once they are out of the way, we will retire to Yulmore, and when Y'shtola has finished plumbing the depths, I'd like the two of you to join us there. If you are bound for Oneida, I suggest you go via Vermont Yards. Our friends there will be glad to provide a boat for you. Let's be on our way then. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Wait! I have a gift for you from Tataru. I have a delivery from the Source Cupo, courtesy of one Tataru Taru. Kapow! You're a long way from home, Moogle. And this is from Tataru, is it? Whatever could it be? Archonloth, thou sayest. Why, even to hear the name doth transport me to times long past. Bread from another world? Bread from another world? May I try some? Mayest thou, child? Thou must! That said, though I personally disagree with the consensus, I do nonetheless advise thee to temper thine expectations. Wiser words have never been uttered. Though I have rarely darkened our dining table at home, or rather, though it rarely darkened our dining table at home, I can attest that it was standard fare at the stadium. Indeed, the slice was never far from our peers' hands. Alphino, you really are an unbearable snob sometimes, do you know that? What I believe my colleagues are trying to say is that we appreciate the gesture. Tell Tataru we'll do our best to return before she's forced to seek further supplementary employment. Right, let's really be off now. We can find a drink and wash down the bread on the way. All right. Right. Oh, right. Indeed. Oh, if it isn't the warrior Darkness himself, what brings you to these parts? Heading out to sea, eh? But of course we'd be happy to help. Just say the word and I'll ready your boat. Sure, let's go to Oneida. Row, row, row your boat gently across the sea.